Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our third session of Pitfalls and Penguins Make the Bloody Epic. This episode, for reasons that will become clear, is entitled The Lost Bell of Frank Pyron. This thing here is the gigantic, 30-foot long, beautiful masterwork dragon puppet. It is part magical, part animatronic, part hand-operated. You've got people inside of it, people behind it who are working like sticks and pulling cables. This thing is just absolutely fabulous. It probably cost more than pretty much all of your houses you grew up in combined, plus all of the houses around them. So Sammy is trying to talk to Marta about how, with all the new humans that they can feast on and turn into vampires, they can finally move out from the lowest caste or job class of vampires, weavers. And so they're both working, making tapestries at their looms, and the dragon is kind of like, you think it's actually sleeping, like the way that it's kind of dozing in the background. You guys have your see invisible goggles on, so you can see not only the dragon here, but also the dragon rider and the necromancer, who are leaning kind of against the dozing dragon and taking notes on what the vampires are saying and kind of comparing notes back and forth. And Sammy goes to put her hand on Cecily's shoulder. Sammy, the mother, Marta, the daughter. You know, this is, big emotional thing. Camera comes in close, and all of a sudden Sammy looks over at the necromancer and goes, "My goodness, his bell is garbage! This terrible bell! How we shoot with this bell in the background? It ruined everything! How can I have moment with my daughter with bad bell?"
I believe the mellow has been harshed. Weren't we supposed to, weren't the costume people supposed to deal with that bell?
And the props people are like, "Whoa, well, I mean, the budget here wasn't really great. I mean, we spent a lot of money on the dragon. We didn't have a lot left over. We've had a lot of overruns." And Sammy is just like, No, I am tired of all of this. We do nothing second rate. No baby seal stuff. We do this right, okay? So Sammy goes, I have good idea, okay? I think we want realism in picture. I actually get a letter earlier today from the Royal College of Rome, or Royal Roman College. They have very inconsistent branding. And they tell me that they need a donation in order to acquire the actual lost bell of Frank Pyron. And I think I tell them maybe they follow their lead by sending us documents. We have historian. We go get Bell, we use it in picture, we tell them it took 2 months longer to find Bell than we thought it would, or we give them bad quote up front on time it will take to find Bell, and then it goes in museum, everyone happy.
Or we work out a deal where we can use the bell.
I think that Sammy has the right plan here. I'm absolutely on board with this idea, especially the part where no one knows we have this thing until after we've had a chance to use it in the picture and have had a chance to look at it.
Legit.
Sammy gives you a copy of the letter, and it basically says that the university recently inherited the papers and collection of a very wealthy alumni. It was the prize of his collection, but he felt like it wasn't safe in his home, and so he had it hidden away in a jungle kind of dungeon fortress thing, far to the south in Jackie Land. And now he's included instructions on how to get there. Or those were in his papers, but they don't actually have any other further information other than just that it's it's at this one point along this one river. Woat, I was going to say, this is some history that you have, and you can choose to share this with the rest of the party. They might be vaguely aware of this because some of this is in the script or taught in high schools. Long ago, vampires ruled the New World and nightly raided and murdered the Roman colonists who tried to establish a foothold there in the small oceanside city of Cleveland. At the behest of the Roman emperor, the brash young necromancer Frank Pyron crossed the sea and lived among the vampires with his team in order to study their ways under the cloak of magical invisibility. The necromancer did indeed discover the source of the vampire's strength and turned it against them, though in the process his own flesh was flayed from his skeleton, his bones remained, and his consciousness. In this process, he dropped the mystical bell because he was really freaked out about being a conscious skeleton with like blood and flesh like in just splattered outward from him. This was not like a magical transformation. Like there's just a lot of flesh and tissue and muscle and organs like all over the room that he's in. So yeah, the bell got lost at the time, lost to history. So that's all you know about the lost bell of Frank Pyron.
So yeah, basically that skeleton feller who kind of blew up Detroit a few years back, when he got all skeletonized, he kind of sort of dropped his magic bell thing, and we're gonna go find it. I'm not sure it's gonna be in as good a shape as Sammy thinks it is, but knowing Sammy, she probably won't care.
Basically, the travel plan here is that you will take the airship to the coast of Jackie Land. There are all sorts of terrifying flying beasts and whatnot that would render an airship over that generally uninsurable unless it was much more heavily armored and defensible than the ship that you have. And then from there you will travel over land, kind of cutting through game paths and along whatever trails do exist to get to the point that's on your map.
I'm gonna go get the duffel bags.
I feel like I might need to equip a little more buffly. Does the trailer, the security trailer, happen to have masterwork items?
There are some masterwork items. What are you looking for in particular?
In particular, a sling, light wooden shield, studded leather. Maybe I could talk to the costume people about that.
So Sammy sees you coming out of the trailer with some of this stuff and goes, "My goodness, Cecily, why you no remind me before they go?" She reaches into one of her, she's like now in her street clothes with her crazy Utila dress or whatever. She starts reaching into pockets and pulling out these pink wads of fabric. And you see that they are T-shirts of various sizes, and she kind of holds them up and then like tosses one to each of you, like after kind of comparing it to your profile. These are from my alma mater, Roman Royal College. They are very bright, good for if you get separated in the dark, I think. And you know, we are doing this under their auspices, so you know, we want to show the flag a little. Okay?
Legit.
Makes sense.
I guess I'll put it over. Right now I'm wearing leather for my armor, so I guess I'll just put it over that.
These T-shirts are like, she didn't like give you perfect form-fitting T-shirts. She just kind of gave you like 3 sizes too big, so it'll just fit over whatever you normally would have. And it's relatively light, so it's not going to encumber you or cause you any like actual problems.
I belted up with my many belts to make it look sort of cute and tunicky. Yeah.
There you go. The costume people in their tent are kind of like looking over, they're like, she gets it. Not much was known about this place other than that it was near a river. You guys are following these progressively narrowing trails, and it's Jackie Land. So the fauna and everything, you know, there's stuff that snaps at you guys as you walk past. There's things that try to shoot poison gas at you. You know, luckily you're all really on your game. You don't have any, you know, surprise encounters or whatever on your way to what is a small clearing at the bank of a river.
Okay.
The river extends, it's about 50 feet wide from here, and the shore that you guys are on slopes gently into the river, and the far shore is defined by a tall, sheer rock face, above which you see like multiple levels with steps kind of weaving in and out between them, and then beyond that you see like this actual like fortress dungeon looking thing that like goes into the rock.
For the record, Joe, as soon as we're out of sight of the airship, once we get to Jackie Land, I'm taking the stupid shirt off.
Okay, you are outside of... Do you bring the shirt with you?
Yes, I still bring the shirt with me in case I get lost in the jungle and do actually need the thing, but As soon as we're out of sight of the thing, Ricky is taking this embarrassment off.
One thing that you guys do notice is that there are 2 ropes stretched across the river from where you are. Each one is tied to a different tree on this shore and secured to a different piece of stonework on the far shore.
I guess that's how we're supposed to cross. Are there any groovy plants around here? I feel like this is the sort of place where you could get some really nifty plants.
There probably are some pretty nifty plants. Do you want to roll an awareness check?
Sure. 13.
You notice on the opposite shore that there is a flowering tree kind of into the cliff face near near where the water line is. And that particular tree may or may not have some good roots if you're into that sort of thing.
I'm definitely into that sort of thing.
I'm not.
Like, way into it. Okay, let's get across this river.
I'm going to go ahead and cast See Truth, or attempt to cast it.
And can you explain to everybody what See Truth does?
If there's an illusion or other magically enhanced falsehood within my line of sight, I can see it for the next 2 minutes.
What is your line of sight? What direction are you facing?
Basically, I'm looking across the river, mostly at those 2 ropes that just seem to kind of be there.
You don't see anything false about the ropes, about the way they're secured, or anything like that. You do notice, though, that there are 2 illusorily hidden or concealed kind of rafts on the far end. You get the sense that like one of the ropes is low enough that somebody might have used it to kind of ferry pull themselves across to avoid being swept downriver.
Okay, so that's a 50-foot river.
It's 50 foot wide, but it's moving pretty fast. It's a pretty fast river.
So I'm going to take a frag grenade and blow myself up and rocket jump to the other side.
Okay. So the
I stand way back.
Okay, so the rocket jump ability is a hacker ability, and can you describe how it works?
So basically, I get 75% damage reduction against explosives, but I'm launched 5 feet for every point that I get rid of that way. I need to take about 15 damage or so.
Rex, before you do whatever crazy penguin thing you're about to do, there's a couple of rafts by the rocks over there. Just, I don't know, maybe bring one of them back so that... Because I don't think either of us can do whatever you're about to do. And
No,
I really don't want
you
to
can't. Okay, so I explode myself good and do 15 points of damage, which I think will clear me to the other side.
It does clear you to the other side. You know what? Actually, I'm going to go ahead and draw the river here. So you guys are over here.
The fact that he's drawing the river has me mildly concerned.
There's a green rope here, and we'll call it an orange rope here. And they both connect to like different trees on different sides. And then there's like stonework and stuff. So Ricky already knows these invisible rafts kind of right next to the surface here. But as you fly through the air, Rex, you notice that they're actually on a very shallow shelf. The water's only about 3 inches deep here. Whereas the rest of it, it's much deeper.
I'll just land on the shore next to the shelf.
Oh, there isn't. It's basically cliff water.
What?
So this is like like I could even flip these up. This is everything past here is like.
Okay, then I guess I need to land on the shelf or the boat shelf.
Did you need me to send you any glitter over there so you can see them? I have glitter.
Well, I mean, now that you're this close to them, the fact that the water's moving so rapidly around them, and this is not a very advanced invisibility spell, you can kind of see them displacing the water. You know where they are.
Okay, are they big enough to carry 3 people, or do I need to get both of them back?
Each one is designed to carry 2 people.
Okay.
So, I mean, you know, you've got 2 of them.
And he's kind of half a person, so
Hey.
he can probably manage 2.5.
You safely move one of the boats back here. So you've used the rope to safely move the boat back to the shore.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty.
Wee.
So Amanita is now waiting on this shore.
Then we go get boat.
Ricky, do you is this good?
Yes, this is fun.
Okay, I'm just making sure, because like, I'm making sure this isn't an opposed boat operation check.
I'm gonna sink this ship. Pow!
So both boats are resting here. I'm assuming that you're gonna tie it back, like.
Yeah, I'd like to come back from this little adventure.
Also, can you heal me?
Right.
I kind of got exploded.
Yeah, how many points of damage did you take?
That took 4 or 5.
So that's pretty good.
And I assume that Sea Truth has worn off and is off cooldown as well.
Yeah, this has been over 2 minutes, just getting back and forth with the boats. It's slow going.
All right. Looking up the cliff. I don't suppose that you notice anything suspiciously like a tunnel or something with your elf eyes, Anita, do you?
Anything door-like?
Awareness would be for... And if there are secret doors, I'm entitled to an awareness check just by passing by it.
You guys can see that there are some stone posts, kind of like that used to like mark a fence at the next rise, which is about maybe 40 feet up. At least one of them has a little bit of rope kind of hanging like down off it. Like somebody who crossed here might have pulled up the rope and like a little bit, like there's just like 6 inches or so kind of flapping over the side.
Does anybody have a grappling hook?
No, the letter did not mention having to climb a mostly sheer cliff.
I mean, I have a rope. I guess I could just tie something heavy around the end of it and like...
How high up is it? Because once again, there's a man who can cross great distances in a single bound.
It's about 40 feet.
I can make the jump.
I didn't plan this around the rocket jump ability, but you know what? You're doing great. So I don't see.
Can we like hunker down somewhere?
Oh yeah, that's a good point. You guys are all directly next to this.
I just grabbed the boat that we came over on, because we have a second one.
Yeah.
And I just kind of...
Well.
All right, Rex, go ahead and do your thing.
Okay. So you guys are hiding under the rubber inflatable raft on the shelf.
I think you guys should just take the boats and pull them out into the river and let me jump up.
I guess we should each have a boat. If
you didn't
if they're rubber.
Rubber rafts.
Yeah, these
so,
yeah,
Okay, we'll each take a boat then. Oh, I hand him my rope before before he jumps up so that he actually has something to tie.
All right, Rex, do your stupid.
75 out of 10.
That would be 8. That's 8 squares. That's 40 feet.
So I have to catch the.
I was going to say, I choose to believe that the last 5 feet he
There's
just
like
flaps.
little flippers.
You're like, oh, and I probably jumped first. Yeah. So you get, you just tumble, over the top here, and
Little flipper feet. We're like,
yeah.
"Ah!"
I didn't know penguins could do that, but that was kind of impressive.
penguins can fly. They're the only fish that can fly.
You see that there is a coil of rope right here that you hadn't noticed, and that there is indeed a coil of rope here as well. You also see that those stairs that you saw cut into the cliff earlier go up this way and up this way to the left and right. And you also notice like some sculptures and some carvings and stuff like that, but you're not really an expert in those things, so well, we can come back to that later if you want.
All right, well, I'll lower the rope down for those two.
Alrighty,
Okay.
we'll tie our rafts back up.
I guess I'll use rope, make sure that I can secure it well.
So wait, are you tying? Are you tying?
And I can just pitch that one down.
Okay, so you're gonna pitch that rope down.
So hopefully it's not booby trapped, you two.
I give it a few experimental tugs to make sure it can hold my weight.
It just snaps.
Okay, well then I will drop Cat's rope.
Perfect 20. Okay, yeah. So you perfectly secure Cat's rope in what's known as a penguin ribbon or a penguin bow, and so the little like pieces of the bow look like little flippers and and little feet flippers. So it's like a 4-part bow ribbon thing. And it looks great.
You could bungee off this thing.
Yeah. Everybody is just like, oh, that's really good. Okay. So. You guys are going up? Mm-hmm. Now that we're kind of past the river for the time being, I'm going to kind of move everything up. So you notice that there's stairs that lead up here to another ledge. And then from there, there's stairs that kind of lead up and kind of, like, one goes over, one goes kind of under, like, through a tunnel to, like, actually, no, they just kind of reconverge.
I presume Woad heals me again.
And then more stairs. There's, like, kind of some statues kind of here, like, on either part of this. The architecture looks like this was, designed to be the actual point of entry where they would receive goods and stuff like that. There are places to tie ropes to do pulley stuff and whatnot along the back here. And there's also some sculpture and ornamentation. Do you guys want to kind of look around and see what you notice?
I'd like to make a knowledge history check to discern what rough era these sculptures are associated with.
So you notice that each stairwell, like a lot of the symbols kind of throughout depict famous objects or artifacts from throughout history. There doesn't seem to be like a clear unifying theme to it. A lot of the carvings seem to have been made at different times, or maybe even were defacements of earlier carvings. And you notice that each stairwell, there's one kind of to the left here and one to the right. Each one has a symbol carved into its first step. And that looks like it's only a few decades old. You don't think that was part of the original stonework. This stairwell here on the left has a vampire carved into it. The one on the right has a bat carved into it. Another thing you notice about this stairwell is that there are two unconscious figures that were kind of blocked by this sculpture statuary here. It looks like they kind of like got lodged in there. Like fell down the stairs onto them, probably.
When you say unconscious figures, so people.
Yeah, they're not statues of unconscious people at the bottom of the stairs, although that would be a really interesting note.
No, these are people.
You know what I'm gonna say though? Okay, so you notice that there are two unconscious people at the bottom of the steps here, and the only reason you didn't notice them sooner is there's actually a sculpture of two unconscious people at the bottom of these stairs, because that's just a brilliant thing to put at the bottom of some steps.
It's commemorating the time I fell down the stairs.
It's just like clearly whoever uses this place to store stuff, just like he goes all out.
Right then, I guess. What do these folks look like?
You see that they are two orcs. They've clearly taken a beating. They're a bruise. They look like they probably falling down the stairs without like doing any sort of magical detection. It looks about right for like you just fell down some stairs. They are wearing the school colors of Yorktown University. Judging by their age, they probably aren't undergrads though.
We've been scooped.
They appear to be unarmed.
And of course it was Yorkies. Right, Rex. Think you can give him a pat down while I make sure that there ain't nothing magical that is gonna spit at us as soon as we step past him?
Okay.
I cast Improve Detect Magic.
You can tell that both stairs are somehow magically, like both stairwells are magically linked to each other. You feel like because you also have trap finding, you also feel like they wholly constitute a trap.
And what was the power level of the person who created this trap? And do I recognize any of the magics that was used?
This is going to be a very powerful rock mage. Or we don't call it earth magic, right?
Right, it's rock magic.
Yeah, because it's the planet.
we're not on Earth.
The planet is called Pow. Yeah.
That's why it's powerful.
Pow. So anyway, you can tell that a very powerful rock mage and a very powerful illusionist collaborated on this. Level 6. Like this is clearly a spare no expense sort of job. You also can tell that the various carvings, while they are not magical themselves, were clearly magical. They were created by people using magical tools that would be very expensive. Whoever carved these things, even though they're not the prettiest carvings ever, they were very expensive. They're the sort of thing you go into a gallery and you kind of look at it and you go, really, that's that much money? And this is that much money. This is a spare no expense, terrible, trapped magical stairway.
So aside from unconscious people, what are the carvings of? Any eldritch being?
Not really any eldritch beings. It's not really important what they specifically are, just that you recognize them as like, these are the sorts of things that would be in museums or textbooks.
Is there a ball of Calvinism?
No, there is not a ball of Calvinism. One thing that you do recognize is one of Elvis's guitars was carved into there. You guys are killing me on my Jack of all blades history right now. I'm trying to think of like what would fit.
Right.
But basically, random things that would be important to somebody who would want to store them someplace.
So when I first these two, do I find any wallets?
You do find wallets.
Do they have ID?
They do.
Okay, can I look them up on social media?
Yeah, they are named Clem and Jum. They actually don't have last names, so there's a lot of hits when you try to look them up. But based on you can kind of look at their faces and sort out the pictures over the next few minutes, and you find out that they are both grad students at Yorktown University in the history program.
Okay.
So I guess we should probably try to like heal them. I mean,
No. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take old Snappy here. He says, holding up the rope that broke when I tried to test my weight on it.
Oh, good, you brought that with you.
And what we're gonna do is we're gonna lace it through between their arms like this. We're gonna sit them up first. We're gonna keep lacing it around them a few times. And then we're gonna put a nice little bow right in here. And then we are gonna leave them here until we come back.
they might get eaten by something.
Well, that was gonna happen whether or not we came here.
I mean, I feel like tying them up is like, at least we could wake them up and like see what they know. Maybe they saw something of import. Maybe they have information that we don't.
Nita, they're unconscious at the bottom of an obvious trap. I don't think they got a lot of information to work with here.
I mean, like, their school's resources. Do they have any papers or anything on them? Do they have any info? Maps?
The only maps that they had were basically to this place, and they do have some receipts for a boat rental.
How many people
That was
does
smart
the
of them.
boat
Yeah.
hold?
Those we stole their boats.
Oh,
So they might have up to 4 people. We should be keeping a lookout. I guess they'll be okay. Maybe if we just...
We're up on a high ledge and we ain't gonna be gone that long. We can wake them up when we get back.
Okay, let's like... So Nita will try to sort of tuck these people in with the statuary such that they are looking like part of it and kind of camouflaged.
Yeah. I mean, they're already inert and dirty and covered with like dust and
Yeah.
like stuff that was clearly thrown free from the stairs when whatever happened.
And I do actually have heal, so I'm just going to check and make sure that they're going to be okay.
This is a discernment healing. You are not trying to actually.
Yeah,
This
I'm
is
not
a
going...
diagnosis.
Yeah, this is a diagnosis healing. Basically,
One.
Unnecessary CPR.
I don't want to break their ribs.
So as you go to determine whether or not they will survive their injuries, you determine that they both seem to have some sort of concussion, which is probably fine as long as they don't bang their head again soon or, starve to death or never wake up or something like that. But as you were kind of, checking their pulses and their breathing, you do actually lean on one of their broken ribs and cause him some additional damage. He does not wake up because he's got a pretty good concussion, which actually helps with your concussion diagnosis. It's a pretty good concussion. Great diagnosis. Good job.
okay then.
Oh, crap. Aren't we supposed to wake folks up when they have concussions?
At this point, we'd probably better just let them sleep. Because, I doubt there's much I could do, bro.
Fair enough. So I'm going to walk over to the other rope, the one that we saw from below.
The green flapping one here.
Yeah. I'm going to give it a good tug.
So are you picking up like the bundle of the rope?
Yeah, basically I'm checking to see if it's as weak as the orange one was.
If it is, it's at a point below where you are tugging. There isn't space for you to pull the whole rope taut. You can only pull like the first 10 feet taut, and then you've got like the bundle of it. Okay. I mean, you could try like passing it around and making a circle and like pulling, but
You're just checking the length of the rope, sort of.
you notice that it is a much finer rope. It is elvish in make, and it is probably worth a few $100s.
Mine's still better. I made it myself.
So what do y'all suppose the odds are that we're going to get up there and we're going to bump into a couple elves?
I don't know. Maybe there were elves living. What sorts of people lived here?
Okay, Nita. I'm talking about folks that came here on one of those rafts.
Oh, that's right. I guess rope would have rotted unless it's really good rope.
Point being, hey, Rex.
Yo,
How high would you estimate that next ledge is?
how high would I estimate the next ledge being?
I'm gonna say it's 60 feet.
Yeah.
Of course you think it's 60 feet.
What? He can do 60 feet.
I can. It will potentially beat me up real bad, but I can.
Well, I mean, you could also like you do just because we talked about so many details. It does catch your eye that there are once again the distinct and only a few decades old, which is relatively new because this place has clearly been here for hundreds of years. But there is a vampire face carved into the first step here, and a bat carved into the first step of the other side.
Oh, the smash or I want to suck your blood variety.
Oh, like a flapping.
Okay.
The small furry creature type.
Just don't want to get that wrong.
Yeah.
I am going to attempt to cast See Truth again. Because you mentioned, that's going to get it, you mentioned that there was some illusion magic involved in this.
You can tell that both stairs are designed to conceal the fact that they can turn into slopes. And so that is a thing.
Oh, well, I might have a thing for this, as I always do.
Okay.
If I put on moon jump, if we fall down it, we can't take fall damage. So we could try to go up it without breaking our necks.
Sure.
So wait, that works for all of us?
I can give it to one person at a time.
All right. Well, I guess we're going to just do the same thing we did before.
So who wants to try to go up which stairwell?
I'm going to go out on a limb. Considering that the two unconscious fellers were at the bottom of that one, I think we want to try that one.
Okay.
I want to examine the bat carving and see if I can find anything special about it.
It is a very intricate carving of a warm-blooded flying rodent.
Okay. I like poke at its eyes and stuff to see if it's got any switches or anything.
It doesn't respond. It's clearly just like a relief work into the stone.
Okay.
I guess I'll go up first in case there's anything up there that we don't want to, that might be a little bit dangerous.
All right.
Other question, the tree that I saw, are there trees down here, or is that sort of further up?
Sorry, that tree that you saw was actually over down there by the boats.
I'll check it out on the way back.
Yeah, I mean, do you really want to be carrying a bunch of roots and also like gathering the roots that we gotta have to get a knife out? And it's, you know, so.
Well, I could at least have given it a lick before we went up. Like, hey, have a little fun.
Yeah. So Ricky, what would you like to do?
Well, if he can keep me from taking any harm, I guess I'll try my way up the bat stairs.
I'm going to need a perception check from you, Ricky.
That's going to be a nat 20 plus 6.
Okay. So you're about 30 feet up the stairwell, which is about a standard stairwell 30-degree incline or whatever.
Yeah.
So once you get there, you start noticing that the steps are beginning to progressively slicken, but when you put the same foot on the same step, or when you put a different foot on the same step, you notice that it is getting slicker over time, not that the steps up higher are more treacherous.
I see. I'm gonna start running now.
Okay, are you running up or down?
Up!
So once you get 4/5 of the way up, all of a sudden the stairs turn into a slide.
I'm going to attempt to make a diving leap to get up to the top of the stairs.
Okay, yeah, you're only about 10 feet from, so it's gonna be rough, but you can go for it. So give me an athletics check.
That's going to be a 12. However, the question is, did I get overconfidence back when we leveled?
Yeah, everybody has their overconfidence back.
Excellent, that's a 15.
So you kind of jump and dive, and you actually have enough forward momentum. Whoever designed this trap made the stairs go to almost frictionless. It's a little bit slow at first, but then it's almost frictionless. So you dive, and first your hands kind of slap the edge, and then the rest of your body hits the ramp, and your momentum kind of carries you forward and up and over.
Yeah.
So that trap did not work as well as intended.
So, good news, bad news. Good news, you can get up the stairs. I guess I roam around to where I'm above them.
Yeah. So you're in the middle here.
I mean, I look around real quick to make sure there's not any immediate threat.
Well, you notice 2 more unconscious people.
Are they elves?
No.
I guess they just bought elven rope.